talk to us. How do you define success for yourself? Tell us a little about
I have a really good answer for this one. This one I've known for a long time. To me, the ultimate success is doing what you want to do every day and having nobody have any impact on that. A lot of people are just not practical. A lot of people taking money and instead of investing it back into their business, buying dumb shit. There was a whole lot of dumb shit buying downstairs today. There was. There was a bunch of people that bought shit to make money. That's good buying shit. There's a lot of people buying shit downstairs today to close the gap on insecurities they have. A lot of people bought shit because they think the logo on their hoodie or on their kicks is gonna make them feel better, but it's not. And it's gonna speed up the process of you losing, not the other way around. So we need more practicality in this space, that's for sure. But if you came to this, and clearly you did because we're here, but I'm talking to the people watching. If you came to this, you're fucking so much more ahead of people. Like, I was trying to tell people downstairs, for a lot of you, you've been fucking with this kind of game, whether it's hip hop or sneakers or street or urban. You've been fucking with it probably maybe even your whole life, right? Or maybe for a little while. The number one thing and I'm gonna say it as an outsider, even though I fuck with it and it fucks with me, the number one thing that you guys need to understand is this shit hasn't even started yet. Everything that's happening here is what it's gonna be. You think that's what it is right now because that's your reality, because you haven't lived in enough places, tasted enough shit, and been in enough rooms. For example, Nike's a big shot downstairs, but why do they spend 90% of their advertising money on dumb shit that you don't pay attention to? Why did Under Armour go from being in the game to being completely out of the game? Nobody gives a fuck about Under Armour here. How did that happen in 36 months? Because they acted like Nike. So be real smart about what's going on. Be real smart at what's going on. I heard somebody say Durant, fucking Under Armour was sitting on Steph Curry at the fucking Apex, right? Jordan Spieth at the Apex. They got Tom fucking piece of shit Brady, right? I get it. My man, this is me taking it easy, my man. And so they had all that, and you know what they couldn't do? The thing that comes natural to everybody in this room, they couldn't trade culture. They put out piece of shit sneaker after piece of shit sneaker. They took for granted where your attention was, and they thought if they're gonna drop the Steph Currys, they're gonna do that as a 3-minute commercial during the NBA Finals, and you guys were all off watching the finals. It went to commercial, you took out your phone, and you're looking at highlights at Dunk on Instagram, not the fucking commercial. People don't get it. You get it. Here's what you don't get. You fucking lack patience. All of you that just came through my booth, all your fucking questions, they all came down to the same shit. Too many of you talk about being it, but you're not living it. You want to be about patience and hustle. It's fun to say, to me, it's fun to tweet that you're a fucking entrepreneur. It's a lot harder to bleed 15 hours a day, every day for 15 years. One of my best friends in the world, Dustin Singh, forward throw back, that man and I drove back from Mount Ida College the day we left college. We drove back, yapped it up, reminisced. It was it. It was over. Reminisced. Got to the parking lot around 3 o'clock that day. We hugged it out. He went on his way, took a train. I walked into the liquor store as a 22-year-old, and I talked to that man 5 to 15 times for the next 8 years. True? Fucking worked. Was patient. Fucking bled. Grinded. For real. Not, now it's made up my narrative as an entrepreneur and it's cool. I lived it. There's not a lot of people that know it, but he does. He knows the truth. He knows in college, I went fucking home every weekend on the Amtrak. Not Excel, I wasn't fancy back then. And fucking went and worked, and I'd come back. I left for the weekends. He also knows I didn't go to class, ever. He was also phenomenal at video games. He should be an esports star, but that's another story for another day. Nonetheless, the bottom line is, the difference, when people ask me questions or when I talk or things of that nature, the difference is, I lived it. I don't just talk about it. And I get why you don't want to do it. And it comes from insecurity. You're worried. You know why you guys aren't patient? Because you want to win already to fucking stick it to your fucking parents. Right? The reason you're impatient is less about you wanting to buy certain shit, though a lot of you are fucked up on that bullshit game. It's more because people are telling you you can't, you decide to do your own thing, and now you're on the clock and everybody's watching and your grandma's telling you you should have stayed in school. But you've got to understand, it doesn't matter if you win in the first half. It doesn't matter if you're up 17 going into the fourth quarter. You've got to win the actual game. You need to be shit on in your 20s and 30s so then you can fucking clown on people in your 40s and tell them I fucking told you. You understand? And the best part is you gotta love the fucking losses. Do you know how happy I am right now that they put a C before the K in my last name and misspelt it? I'm being dead serious. Like this is going great. I love your admiration. The number one thing I'm excited about right this fucking second on stage is they misspelled my fucking name. Cause I look at that and I'm like, yes. Cause I love losing. You know why I gave up on the Rangers and the Yankees? Because they won championships. You know why I fuck with the Jets and the Knicks? Because they suck. And that is the fundamental difference. And I promise you, my friends, it's binary. This whole thing, your fucking life is binary. It's a 1 or a 0. It is black or is it white. You are either gaining or you're declining. There is no in between. You're not kind of passive right now. You're not kind of in the middle. You're either winning or you're losing, right? And you've got to understand that all the things that you want, of course they should be hard. Do you understand the audacity? Do you understand that if you make $400,000 a year, that means you've entered the top 1% earners in this country? People talking about millions as like, I gotta make $1 million as like an entry point. And they don't even understand that 99% of people in America don't make $400,000 a year. We've got the whole game misframed. Everybody's confused. Let me tell you what you should focus on. A, you need to do some shit you like. Because if you don't, you will be outworked by somebody who loves that thing and they will beat you. That's the problem. If you don't love it, somebody will beat you because they love it, and that means they'll work 18 hours a day because you fucking love it, and you're working 11 because you like the money that comes along with it. Or 8, or supposed to be working 10, but it's really 4, and you're bullshitting and watching YouTube for 6. And so I am confused by people's inability to be humble, especially this audience. And I'm stereotyping, but let me tell you something that's pissing me off that is the great advantage of the collective culture downstairs. I think the reason I'm patient, and I think all the strengths I have about all the things I'm preaching right now, is because when you don't come for much, you already know. You already know that like you can be happy if you have a good household. You already know that you don't need a whole lot of stuff. You already know one nice pair of kicks is enough if you can't afford another. You already know. In life, you have 2 situations, binary. And they're both winning formulas or they're losing formulas. And they start the same way. You were born. And you were either born with too much because your parents are rich and they got shit, like my kids, or you're born with too little. The way I was born in a fucking piece of shit house in Belarus and Russia, right? That's it. You're either born with too much or too little. And both are strengths and weaknesses. Your fucking mindset decides it. I sit in rooms every day. And you guys know I love to sit with kids and jam and do shit. Almost every day, I have a situation. Every month, I will meet at least one person that's gonna cry to me that they don't have anything and it's hard, and they didn't get lucky and they got nothing and it's hard. And then I will equally have dinner with somebody else who will tell me that it's hard and difficult. Happened today downstairs because they had too much. They're not hungry because their parents did everything for them. Their mom and dad fucked them up because they gave them too much, which the people that have nothing, a bunch of you just sat. I've had people who have $50 million trust funds cry to me at dinner that their life sucks because they've never fought for anything, they never did anything, and they don't have any purpose, and they're lost, and they're suicidal. Which the people in here that were born with nothing are like, fuck you. Right? A bunch of you are like, fuck that, right? It's because you don't know the alternative. everybody's pointing at everybody else without understanding. Nobody's deploying empathy. Nobody's deploying empathy. Everybody's worried about what's their issue without realizing everybody's got fucking issues. My friends, let's just get to the punchline. Nobody gives a fuck about your problems. Nobody gives a fuck about your problems because it's true. Either they've got their own fucking problems, right? Or they're just focused on some other shit, but they can't empathize with you. And more importantly, if you think that somebody owes you something because you started at a disadvantage, you're a fucking loser. You have to understand that's your advantage. Who do you think fucking rises and wins? Have you guys paid attention to what's actually happening on Earth? Have you guys paid attention to who actually wins? It's fuckers that had nothing, that had motivation to get something. We don't fucking know stories about he had this and then all of a sudden he made it big. Nobody gives a fuck about that story. There's no glory in that story. And guess what? That story doesn't exist a whole lot. You've got a lot of second generation people doing stuff, but by the third generation, everybody got so fucking soft. They're even doing nonprofits all the time, or they wasted all the money. I just ask you, would you much rather, do you know I used to cry in college because my dad had a liquor store and I was like, nobody's ever gonna give me credit because they're gonna always think that I was upset that there was a little something. And he was around, he knows it's not what everybody wants it to be when they're fucking coming up with excuses why I won and they didn't. I won because I fucking outworked you. I won because I had enough self-awareness to understand what I was good at. There's a lot of shit I wish I was. I just figured out what I was and what I liked, and then I just fucking outworked you. And I will always outwork you because I love the game more than the stuff. You just have to understand that. When you fucking love it, you can't beat me because I want to do it every second that I'm breathing. And so I need people to get to that place. The reason I'm doing everything I'm doing right now, you know, that you're paying attention to, is because I'm trying to become your excuse, your shield, your thing that you can point to. Because if you trip and fall, you guys are worried about failing, and I'm trying to get you to point at me and blame me that it didn't work versus blaming yourself so that it gives you the courage to actually start doing shit. The only way you're gonna get the thing that's been running through your mind, the only way you're gonna get on that plane that you think you wanna be on when you were sitting downstairs eating french fries with your homie and chopping it up and saying what we're gonna be in 7 years, is if you fucking outwork everybody, figure out what you're good at, bring value to the people you're trying to sell, and just rinse and repeat forever till the end. And so everybody looks at the people that made it. Bless you. Everybody looks at the people that made it, and none of you looked at how they got there. Simple as that. Everybody in this room, I promise you, my superpower is empathy. I never make, it's true. It's because, my man, I don't think my employees should work as hard as I do, and a bunch of dumb fucking business people do. If my employees should work as hard as I do, they should have as much equity as I do. How the fuck do you want somebody to work for as much as you do when it's yours? You fucking audacious piece of shit. I have empathy. I don't know what's going on. If you're not performing, it might not be work related. Your grandma might be sick. I'm empathetic. That's why I'm a great salesman. You know why I can sell you anything? Because I think about you first. I'm not worried about what it's in it for me. I'm trying to figure out what's in it for you and then give you more than you even expected so it feels, I'm trying to guilt you fuckers into my shit. And that's it. And that's why I fucking put scrutiny on everybody who's trying to do, you know, courses and pre-rolls, trying to get you to pay $4,000 for this and $10,000 for that, all this. Like, this shit is simple. All the information is free. You don't need any of that other shit. It's fucking free. People are paying for shit to make them feel better about not doing shit.
So let me help you. The space you're in is probably the macro-micro issue. So it's macro patience, micro speed, right? So what do I mean by that? You need to be patient as fuck, Taylor. You're 22, 23 years old. Like, what do you think's gonna happen overnight?
Yeah, I know.
So you need to be fast, 7 a.m. to 2 in the morning every day. But in the big picture, you need to realize nothing good is gonna happen for the next 6 years.
Okay. And do you think that I should just try every good idea that I think I have and just go for it all out? Or do you think I should stick with one thing at a time?
I think the fact that you've even asked that question, that you should taste flirting with a lot of different things, because you'll be crippled by the what if you don't. Even though that's not the perfect formula to build the biggest short-term wealth, because you should go triple down on one thing instead of being half pregnant